What is up, everybody? This is Omega Belmont, and welcome to a little quick, talk about Dragon Quest Heroes 2 on the PlayStation 4. I just want to give you guys a quick talk about, the game. Just talk a little bit first. I'm actually going to split this up into 3 parts. This one is going to be about more of just the beginning of the game and what I think about it so far. Of course, second part will be more maybe the middle. A little bit about the story. The first part I won't talk about the story at all, and maybe just a few characters other than that. But so far, nothing too much. What I think about it, and that's pretty much it. A little bit about the game, and that's pretty good. But the second part, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the game, more story-wise, and maybe new mechanics and things like that. And then the last part will just be what I think about the game in the whole when I actually beat the game. So far, like I said, this is the first part. I haven't played too much of it. I mean, I played about maybe a quarter of the game. I'm just about 10 hours into the game, so not too far. It's a pretty big game for what it is, but yeah, it's up there, and you'll probably put a few hours or quite a few hours into this game too. So, anyways, Dragon Quest Heroes 2 lets you play as 2 cousins, a male and a female, and you actually get to choose between the 2 characters in the beginning. You actually get to choose their own names too. That's pretty cool. The male is pretty much the character who is loudmouth and wields these 2 swords. Of course, two swords are pretty cool. And then the female is a kind of just a regular, a noble, character, and of course she wields a sword and a shield. So you actually get to pick between one of them in the beginning. You actually get to play both of them anyways. So but your main character you're seen on the screen most of the time, it will be the one that you picked. So far, the story is pretty much these 2 characters are pretty much in training to become some kind of soldier. I can't remember if it was a soldier or a warrior, and they get caught up into this war that war hasn't been started for centuries or something like that, and these factions are kind of fighting each other, and they're kind of stuck in the middle. They have to pick one faction, and then it goes from there. Gameplay wise, it is a Dynasty Warriors game, but there is a small little twist to it. The game actually has open world maps. I'm not talking about like as big as The Witcher or Horizon or anything like that. There are zones, so you go to these maps, and then it's a big open world map. You kind of could run into some parts are closed off, some parts are you have to jump to a higher plane to get to, and things like that. So I think that's the coolest part about that. Those parts are actually called the wild zones, and like I said, you can run around this map, battle against different monsters, and do different quests and other little small things like that. Now the Dynasty Warriors part of the game will be coming from the war zone, which is you go to this area, and then it's called the war zone, and then that's when you do your main missions. It's pretty much how you move forward in the story, and they tell you what to do. You're like, okay, you gotta protect this, you gotta do this, you gotta destroy this pillar, you gotta rescue this team, and just a bunch of little small things like that. And it's kind of like what Dynasty Warriors is. So you got those 2 different modes that you get to play around. You got your hub world that you can buy your weapons. You can buy weapons, accessories, level up your characters, gain more, characters, and other small little things like that. And it's your hub world, like I said, so you can go to different areas. So far, I think I've seen like 4 or 5 different areas that you can go to. So, and you could go to each one from that hub world. The battle is pretty much simple. It's really Dynasty Warriors like. So you got pretty much your square button to attack, and then triangle for a heavier attack. You could kind of combo them together to do a cool looking combo. So yeah, a little bit Dynasty Warriors, but the difference is this is actually a 4-man party, so you get to pick 4 people with you. Of course, you have your main character, and then 3 other characters from the Dynasty Warriors game. So and they show up a ton, so you have a ton of characters to choose from. What happens when you go into battle is, of course, square to attack, triangle to do your your heavy attacks. The difference is you have to hit R1 to pull up it pulls up this menu, and then you can see what different special abilities you can do. Some characters can do like healing abilities, some can do buffs and things like that, or you can just pretty much do a special attack. So that's pretty cool. I like that. It kind of really, it's kind of big, so it really just fills the whole screen. Like, I guess it can be a little bit troubles, kind of just annoying at times. So but it's a cool way to have different attacks, and you could actually sub in those different attacks too. So if you don't like that, a certain attack, and then you could when you get a new ability, you can put them in there. So you could kind of mix and match if you want to. The other thing is you got this thing called the high tension mode, which I like to call the Super Saiyan mode, and that's pretty much what your character goes into. Super Saiyan, he or she becomes kind of purple, purple aura. Their hair kind of raises up. Super Saiyan, maybe Super Saiyan 2 if you want to call it. No Super Saiyan 3s, so which sucks. I would like to see that. But when that happens, you gain a little bit of a boost in strength and defense. Oh, actually, you are they can't hurt you, so you have really high defense, no MP, and you can just pretty much spam whatever you want, and then of course. When it's about to run out, you hit the circle, and it does a big old attack called the coup de grace attack. Well, I killed that, but it does that attack, and it wipes pretty much anybody in front of it. The only thing it doesn't kill is bosses. It'll do a big damage, but it won't kill any bosses, which is pretty cool. And then you also got these cool little medals that pop up from the monsters, and you get to get these medals, and then you can use them. And different characters or different monsters have different abilities. Some of them they're called sentries, and you can place them wherever you want to, and they kind of just follow you around, or they're in that area, and then you just attack other monsters in that area when they come up to them. You got characters or monsters, medals you could turn into different monsters, which is pretty cool. And then you got these monsters that could these medals that you can call these monsters down and just do like a one-time attack, and that's pretty much it. So you can mix and match whatever you want to. Of course you do have a limited amount, so you can't just grab every medal. So you got to choose which one you want. And then at last is, of course, there's a bunch of different Dragon Quest characters from different Dragon Quest games that you can party up to. There's so many of them that I just kind of tend to use my my MMO type of party. I have a regular DPS kind of character. You got a character which is the main character. You have to have him in the party. I also talk about the main characters. You can actually switch their roles. So at the beginning, you start as kind of like a warrior type, with all these attack and moves and things like that. But you can switch them up to like a priest, monk, or something like that. They all have different abilities and different weapons, so you can switch them up in whatever you want to. So I tend to kind of go more towards 2 attackers and 2 healers or buffers or something like in that realm. So I like to do that. Anyways, what I liked about the game is it's open world maps. I love the open world maps of the game. I really enjoy it. I like the fact that you can just go ponder yourself around, kill a bunch of monsters, level up, and do whatever you want to. And then if you want to go to the main storyline, okay, there you go. You go to the main storyline. But you can also, you just don't have to be storyline. You can go open world maps, run around it, kill a few monsters, farm some items if you want to, gain some EXP, and just do, play at your own pace instead of having this, they rush you through it. The other thing, what I like about is the class systems. Like I said, each character has their own class. The main characters can switch up their classes whatever they want to, whatever fits your style. So you don't always have to be a warrior. You don't always have to be a healer or something like that. The other classes, the other characters that are from the Dragon Quest games, they are actually locked into their own class. So those are locked, but the main characters themselves, they are both open to whatever class you want them to be. Of course, characters are also something I like about the game. The characters are all awesome. I love them all. They all sound really cool. And Helix is probably my favorite character, who's a little slime that you know, follows you around, and he actually does pretty cool stuff for you. You know, he heals you. Is it he or she? I'll go with him or it. The little slime, Helix heals you, and that's pretty cool. Sometimes Helix will, you know, do little small attacks. You know, he doesn't do much damage, you know, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And like I said, all the characters are pretty cool. They all have their own personalities, and I think that's pretty cool. And the last thing is, for what I like, is the game is actually challenging. These war zones that you get into, holy smokes! There's a few of them that I had to restart and redo it over. But like I said, I like the challenge for it. It's not just spam right through it and then you're done. Like Dynasty Warriors. You just spam, go through, and that's pretty much it. It actually takes a little bit of planning. You kind of have to plan around, and they are chained up too. So there's not just one and that's it. And then, oh, let's go back to town. I mean, you can do that, but what I like to do is just go right through it. So okay, so you go through one war zone, and then okay, it's not done yet. You can keep on going. Sometimes you can get like 3 or 4 war zones, and it takes a lot out of you. So at the end of one war zone, I'm just like, whew. As, you know, it's almost like Neo-like, where I'm just like, oh, I gotta take a break real quick because I am worn out. So those are the things I like, but there are some things that, you know, I didn't like about the game so far from what I played. The first thing is the boring side missions. It really doesn't have really good side missions. It's pretty much just, hey, go collect these, or go kill this monster, or do these moves a certain amount of times, and you get it. And that's pretty much it. And the items would be like, oh, we'll give you like 1 material, 2 materials, give you some EXP, or it gives you, you know, some money. So it's pretty simple. Nothing, you know. So far I've done like the first like maybe 10 or 15 of them, and I'm just like, maybe I'm gonna just skip them, and if I could go back and play them later. So there's some that you might have to do because they'll open up more weapons for you or accessories for you in, you know, the vendors. But so far I've only done 1 so far. I'm currently doing 2, so I'm not too far in. But so far I don't really care about them too much, and they're just like, whatever. The next is these mini medals that you get. No, they're not the medals that you get during you know, when you're playing. These are actually these little mini medals you get that you get to actually spend it on, you know, items. You do certain, you know, things in the game, and then they give you these mini medals, and it's kind of weird. I just don't like it. I hate having to, like, oh yeah, maybe you know, I could have bought this thing, this item, this weapon, or this armor, or these you know, materials with these mini medals. I just don't get it. So I think I'll just talk about that. Like I said, I'm not too far into the game. Maybe they give you more later on, but so far I think I accumulated up to like 25 or something like that. So that's like enough for like 1 decent weapon, I think so. And there's like a list of things, different, you know, weapons, armor, and things like that. So the next is the camera. The camera can be a little bit wonky in times. You know, it can get stuck into walls, and I hate that the most when these big bosses hit you into, you know, a wall or something like that, and you just can't see it, and it falls into this, you know, similar where it's just you can't see nothing. Kind of like in Berserk, you know, the Berserk style game. You get hit into a wall, and then you're just stuck in the wall, and you're just like, what's going on? What's going on? You know, and you get a whole bunch of free shots from monsters. They just knock you out, and you lose a big chunk of health. It does do that sometimes. I don't know if changing the camera distance, which you can. I have it, you know, at default, which is in the middle, so I don't know if I want to pull it back more or pull it closer. Maybe not closer, maybe just pull it back a little bit further, and maybe that will remedy the camera. But so far, it falls into that problem. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the multiplayer. I can't get into matches. I cannot get into matches. I tried maybe 7 or 8 times so far. matches. I was not able to join anybody's game or anything like that, so I kind of just did my own solo dungeon. Yes, there is a multiplayer, but I can't really talk about it because I can't get into it. So you can help other people out, and they can come help you out, and you can do some different dungeons and things like that. So far, I haven't been able to get online or even start a match or something like that to even play one of those. So I can't really talk about it too much. So and that will be it for my first gaming talk. I guess I want to talk. I don't know if you have a name for this, but I just wanted, like I said, I just want to talk a little bit about Dragon Quest Heroes 2. I've been playing that for a few hours here and there, so I do want to finish this game because it's actually a really good game. And if anything else, hopefully the Dynasty Warriors team can take this into the account of making what their next Dynasty Warriors game is. Would be pretty cool to have this kind of open world map. And I think I read somewhere that I won't say it, but hopefully they take that into account and turn their Dynasty Warriors game into something fresh. And this is, to me, as a fresh new take on Dynasty Warriors. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys come back next time, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Omega Belmont. Peace out.